Hello, everybody. It's Scott. This week and next, we're going to be looking at the actual act of asking. You've done all the prep work. You understand your prospect. You understand your case. You've got the right people involved. You've got a strategy in place that you're going to use to actually make the solicitation. Try to provide some reading materials and some videos that will give you a little bit of a better sense of that overall process. But I wanted to share a couple of thoughts and observations. One of the things that I've seen very clearly is fundraisers who aren't successful are those who are apologetic. I'm really sorry. A great example. Even on a small scale, I stopped in a restaurant in the United States on my way on a trip, and I pulled over and I went into this restaurant, and the waitress came up and she's like, "I'm really sorry, but I have to solicit you and ask you if you'd like to provide $1 or $2 to the U.S. March of Dimes." And I looked at her and I said, "No, thank you. I'm sorry. Not something I'm prepared to do." She was so uncomfortable and so disturbed by the process. It just took away from everything. What you need to remember, in my mind, is that you're not asking for yourself. You're providing the opportunity for someone to do something that ideally you both think is very important. You may not believe me, but with experience you will. I cannot count the number of times donors have talked about how thrilled they were. These are people making $1 million gifts. I was so happy to give that $1 million away. I'm like, wow, I'd be so happy to have $1 million. But that they're happy to give it away because they have the capacity, and we talked about that. Obviously, they have the connection to the organization and the commitment. But most importantly, they're able to give it away because they feel that your charity, your organization, is going to have or create an impact or an outcome that they think is important. So we as the fundraisers, we become the facilitator. We become the facilitator of that relationship between the donor, between the organization, and most importantly, between the final outcome, what the money will actually do. So remember, you're not asking for yourself. You're giving someone an opportunity to really make a difference. And while that's a small distinction, it really is a critically important one for you to make if you're going to be successful. And it's critically important for you to make that distinction now because you, in your roles, will be training volunteers and other staff on the fine art and strategies behind giving people the opportunities to support a great cause. So keep those things in mind. The other piece is do not apply your own financial filters. I'm being taped for the fundraising fundamentals program for AFP. I'm introducing one of the sections on major gifts. And in that process, I was asked to tell a little story about one of my first major gift solicitations. And you know what? I remember it very clearly because I was making an ask for $50,000 from the owner of a fish plant in one of the small outports in Newfoundland. And this was a long time ago. This is when I was first starting, so early 90s. And $50,000, well, it still is a lot of money, but at that time, $50,000 was far more than I made in an entire year. And I asked that individual, it's our hope that he would be able to provide a gift of $50,000 to support this great project, blah, blah, blah. And they said yes. And I went out of there and it was like, wow, that man just gave away more money than I make in an entire year. And I realized very quickly that I can't apply my own filters. A $20 gift to some person is the same as a $100 gift or a $10,000 gift to others. It all depends on your individual capacity. When we talk about major gifts from our volunteers, from our board members, one of the things that addresses a lot of the disparity that we often see in capability is the idea or the concept of somebody providing a gift that's meaningful to them. So for me, if I provide a $100 gift, maybe that's the same as somebody else providing a $5,000 gift. It's all relative. So don't apply your own filters. Remember that you're not asking for yourself. You're giving somebody the opportunity to support. And again, by the time you get to the solicitation, if you've done all the pre-work, your prospect knows while you're there. So be sure to, when the time comes, to actually make the solicitation. So many times you talk to people, how was the call? Oh, they were really nice. They really like us. They love what we're doing. Did we make the ask? No, 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 we didn't. Why? Well, I was nervous, and this is from volunteers as well as staff. I was nervous. I didn't want to. Whatever. There's myriad reasons as to why one doesn't make that solicitation. But I've talked to donors afterwards, and it's like, that's fantastic. You gave that gift. That's wonderful. Surprised you've been so involved that you didn't give it that level earlier. And it's like, well, I was never asked. So again, it's an interesting relationship. Our role is to facilitate that exchange and to ensure that we're giving the donating prospect or the potential donor the right information at the right time through the right person to help them make an informed giving decision. So those are my comments on the actual solicitation. Your first one or two are going to be exceptionally frightening, I would imagine. I know mine were, but very quickly it becomes second nature. And the more you ask, the more you enjoy it, the more successful your organization is, and the better everyone is. So just keep it up. Thanks so much. Have a great day.